This just in, recent information regarding dissociative identity disorder, also known as DID, has been brought to our attention by our esteemed research team. Now over to Laura.
DID is a rare condition in which two or more distinct identities take over an individual. People who suffer from DID have a blurred sense of identity, so they don't truly know who they are because they have so many other identities that they go by. Though there is no profound cure to DID, there are available treatment options in which we will compare and contrast. The first one is cognitive behavioral therapy, which focuses on exploring relationships amongst personal thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. During CBT, a therapist will actively work with a person to uncover unhealthy patterns of thought and how they may be causing self-destructive behaviors and beliefs. For instance, CBT can help someone replace thoughts that can lead to low self-esteem. For example, by saying, "I can't do anything right," you replace it with a positive expectation such as, "I can do this most of the time." Secondly, there is also dialect behavior therapy. DBT is heavily based on CBT with one big exception. DBT emphasizes validation or accepting uncomfortable thoughts, feelings, and behaviors instead of struggling with them. Similar to CBT, individuals undergoing DBT are usually instructed to practice these new methods of thinking and behaving as homework between sessions. Improving coping strategies is an essential part of successful DBT treatment, which thus, in conclusion, those are the differences between the treatments listed.
In 2008, a study done by Bainon showed that CBT was proven to be somewhat effective in preventing or delaying relapse in DID patients post-treatment. Recently, a study was done with dialectical behavior therapy on veteran women, and this study showed major decrease in anger as well as disassociation. Okay, now back to Laura.
What was that? Oh, you would like me to talk about different psychological perspectives on treatment. Okay, so we'll go in order and we'll start with the cognitive and behavioral aspect of it. And so for DID, they have cognitive behavioral therapy, which is also called CBT. CBT focuses on challenging and changing unhelpful cognitive distortions and behaviors. It improves emotional regulation and the development of personal coping strategies that targets solving current problems. The next one we'll discuss is the humanistic perspective. And basically, humanistic therapy is a type of therapy based around the need of the client. Most common type is called client-centered therapy, which is designated from the originator Carl Rogers. This basic belief is that everyone has the capacity to think and the power to control their own lives, and the therapy is designed to encourage the client to find that within themselves to reach their actualizing tendency. In relations to DID, perhaps it's used in a way that where the client discovers their own blockage, and that is what they think is causing them and allowing them to explore how to resolve the issues. The next psychological perspective we will be talking about is the psychoanalytic perspective that deals with both psychotherapy and hypnosis as their main source of treatment. Psychotherapy focuses on maintaining or improving relationships with other people. Hypnosis deals with helping people who suffer with DID explore and learn about more of their personality states in hope of their gaining better control. Many of the treatments used for sociological perspective is family therapy and group therapy. In this therapy, it will help family members learn about reoccurring symptoms, which will help them point out when a person with DID is having an episode. And so for group therapy, it's beneficial to, in addition to individual therapy, because it provides a group effort and is exclusively for people with dissociative disorders. A person with DID can sometimes have setbacks in mixed therapy groups because others may be bothered or disturbed by the personality switches, so group therapy helps. And to wrap up the 7 psychological perspectives, there is no evolutionary treatment to treat DID. It's just not possible. So I will hand this over to Nia, and she will talk more about DID.
Hi, I'm Nia, and today I will be reporting about the effectiveness of DID treatments, how to prevent DID, and the cultural influences that lead to DID. According to studies across the world, DID is rare and unheard of in other places such as Africa, Great Britain, Sweden, Russia, Southeast Asia, and South America, unlike in the US and Canada, which is where it is very popular. According to the National Survey of Children's Health, 35 million US children have suffered from one or more types of trauma. This shows that childhood trauma is a part of US culture, which means more Americans are likely to develop DID. Although DID is a rare and controversial disease that we are still learning about day after day, it can be avoided, believe it or not. We know that DID is caused by trauma, especially in young children. If children's exposure to trauma is minimized and lessened, and victims of physical or sexual abuse receive the proper counseling and recover, DID can be avoided and lessened